Greetings and welcome. Thank you for stopping by here on YouTube Live. If you're logging in live at the one and only Raw, Rare, Real, Tried and True, Bloom from Within Love, I go by Bloomy. Happy 1010 energy. We are in a 1010 energy. This glorious Monday, October the 10th, 2022. So we're closing out cycles, endings, new beginnings, destiny. All of this energy is shifting. So set your intentions to tap in if you resonate with this sort of thing. Okay. As you guys are coming in, the title it says why you or we must be transparent on the journey. And I was looking at a couple of readers that I resonate with, and it's not basically pertaining to what they're talking about. So, but when they mentioned something about this particular reader was talking about um, somebody's got some people that's going to be coming against them, trying to spread, lies or trying to tell their business, trying to get revenge and so forth, right? So chances are it's people that either you or someone that you've connected to has decided to cut off and move away from. Okay. You or someone that you're thinking of could have been caught up once upon a time with these people when you yourself were asleep and unhealed and in your own traumas and dramas. And when we start waking up and healing and ascending and we want to change our lives, the people that we leave behind or disconnect from typically become very bitter. It's that crabs in the bucket syndrome. It's how dare you not stay tied to me? How dare you cut me out? How dare you break up? How dare you move forward? How dare you this or that? So these are the individuals that then commence to use arsenal, anything that they have at their disposal against you or someone that you're thinking about. So this is why we must be prepared to be transparent on the journey. We all have a story, collective. Each and every one of us are vastly different from one another, even though we have similarities. When we were in our asleep state or our unhealed state or in our wounds and traumas, depending on our background, environment, and bent, we went down certain paths and we partook in certain things. So, as challenging as it could be, it serves us to get comfortable with facing this about ourselves. Whatever this means, whether it was that once upon a time you were promiscuous, maybe in your younger years, whether it be, um, you were into drugs and alcohol addiction, whether it be you were a criminal in your past, or, whatever these things are that you're walking away from. People like to try to keep you there, okay? That they themselves do not want to embrace true healing and transformation, especially if you've come to a place of decision where you no longer wish to continue your journey with them. So, and the reason why it helps you to embrace your transparency, because they won't be able to use anything against you. See, one of the tactics of abusers, psychopaths, sociopaths, narcissistic type, and dark witches and warlocks is to know some deep, to get you to open up to them and share your deepest, darkest secrets. And the moment they feel betrayed by you, the moment you decide you don't want to continue the journey with them because they have deep rooted self hate and abandonment issues and needing to win at all costs and control issues, then they commence project sabotage. Okay, you're going to leave me, then I'm going to tell all of your business because you're leaving. And chances are they're going to convolute it. Chances are they're going to put a little bit stank on it, extra on it. But it's an attempt to bully you to the bitter end. It's an attempt to scare you. It's an attempt to put you in an energy where you're trying to pay people off to silence and all this stuff, which this is going to eventually have a catastrophic end. We're not here to be paying people off to not reveal our truths. See, unlike toxic people cannot handle their own dirty laundry being aired out. Okay, this is why they work so hard to create illusions and personas and get people to co-sign it, pay people to co-sign it. You know, they work so hard to create it. They themselves can't even handle their own truths being exposed. So this is where your character kicks in and you get a leg up over these type of people. Because even if you have a torrid past of your own, that is the word, past, right? Who are you and where are you now? Maybe you're not as proud of some of the things, right? That's a part of this journey, healing and awakening truly, but being able to face this stuff truly in a healthy way, unlike the individuals that are toxic, that they can't handle their secrets out. They pay people to keep their secrets. They rather stay in illusion rather than heal. You get a leg up if you get strong in who you are and transparent. We all have a past. We've all made mistakes. But when you can own that transparency, honey, they can't use that against you. It's not going to work. And the reason why it's not going to work, let me tell you why. This is because you're starting to heal. So it's almost an energy that you get in like, well, so what? Yeah, I did this. I did that. Not in a negative sense, but in a sense of ownership. Like, it's okay. At least I'm not still in that energy, which is what you can't say for them. It's like, it's okay. Yes, I did that. I'm not proud of it. I'm going to own that. I'm not going to make excuses for it, but that's not who I am. And I'm not going to tie myself to that energy. And I'm not going to be blackmailed in any kind of way. So what? So collective, as you are awakening and healing, whether you're at the beginning, intermediate, or more advanced stages, it's important to become transparent and comfortable with yourself and your mistakes so that your enemies, they run out of arsenal because they get in a panic towards the end of their connection with you. When it's coming down to the wire and they know that, they're losing their grip. They go into a panic and start looking about in their arsenal. So if it was people that you once upon a time really trusted and you were open and vulnerable and shared your deepest, darkest secrets, or in your asleep state, these are people that you are in the fuck shit with. And now you don't want to be anymore. And they're not too thrilled about that. Okay? So in other words, I'm going to tell you slept with so-and-so. I'm just throwing shit out there. I'm going to tell, oh, you're saying you want to cut us off. You're saying you don't want to be our friend. You're saying you don't want to be in our group. You're saying you don't want to finance us. You're saying whatever the situation is. You're saying you don't want to keep our secrets anymore. Then we're going to tell your secrets. We're going to say, we're going to provide proofs that you slept with this person and you said that and you stole this and you did that. And they're going to do that. Brace yourself. It's all right. They're stuck and they know that they're losing control. They want their illusions to go on at all costs. This is why they begin to try to threaten you in some way, shape, form, or fashion to either blackmail you, threaten you, or pay you off in some kind of way because they don't want to heal. They don't want truths revealed. They want an illusion. And they want to push this thing to the wheels fall off if they can. So even though it's uncomfortable, and I'm not trying to imply that this is cinchy, okay? But you know who you are. This bothers people. I have a past, you have a past, everybody's got a past, but that's the operative word, isn't it? 20-year-old Brandy, okay, is vastly different from 46-year-old Brandy. Extremely. And the reason why that is because throughout that span, there's been a whole lot of journeying, a whole lot of ins and outs, up and downs, and awakening and transforming. So whatever happened with 20-year-old Brandy, and I'm using this as an example, I don't care. It's not my identity. It's not connected. It's not attached. I'm not in those frequencies. I'm not in that vibration. So when people try to run their raggedy mouths, okay, trying to drug up and dig up old ancient dusty shit, because I'm up there in age. So the best thing they can do is go dig up some old ancient shit. Okay. But digging up that to try to perpetuate something, it's not going to matter to me. Why? Because it's not who I am. And I own these things as a part of my journey. This was a part of my journey. It was the things I went through in my own trauma, in my own asleep state, in the shit that I was in, conditioned into, environments and culture and family and all that shit. But because I've embraced my journey, it don't hold weight. So people can do what they want and say what they want. It don't hold no weight. It don't bother me. It don't make me feel some kind of way. And the reason why it no longer makes me feel some kind of way, because I'm not in the energy. I'm not in it. I would feel some kind of way if perhaps I was still stuck, like many of these individuals are. If I was still stuck in that frequency, perhaps. If I was still conducting in such a manner while trying to hide it and pretending like I'm not. But because I'm solid and confident in that, I can stand with that conviction, naked and not ashamed, bitch. Be like, yep, that's my story. This is who I am now. Who are you? Who are we today? Not back in 2010, bitch. See, some of you may say, well, Bloomy, maybe that's your story. So most of the fuck shit you did, for the most part, is back in the day. But mine was yesterday. Some of y'all may say, somebody may say, but Bloomy, mine was yesterday, bitch. Mine was last week, bitch. Mine was last year, bitch. So what I'm supposed to do about that? And I'm trying to get my life. I'm trying to move on. I'm trying to heal. I'm trying to change. And this is what I did yesterday, bitch. This is what I did last year. Fair enough. Fair enough. Even still, because if you're sincere and you're doing the work, this is why I'm talking about embracing the transparency, because otherwise you'll have all of this lingering energy around your life. Low vibratory individuals who are not thrilled at the idea of not having some kind of connection to you. You're going to always have that lurking about, haunting you if you don't get in a position to where you feel okay with being like, look, shit, bitch, man, I did it, I'm not that person no more. Okay, and I'm not going to be that person no more, and I'm not going to entertain people who are okay with that person anymore, and I'm not going to be afraid. I'm not going to allow this to keep me stuck. They do this at the end of the road, collective. It's something you're going to figure out on your own. You're going to watch it happen right in front of your own eyes. At the end of the road, when you're changing, people that are afraid of change don't like people changing. Hear what I said? People that are afraid of change don't like people changing. Unless it's change on their terms, unless it's change in which they can dictate, foresee, and control. So it's not going to matter But the moment your energy shifts, the moment you start taking authority, they're going to pull out the dogs. They're going to pull out everything they got, man. Everything they got. They're going to be like, we going to tell them what you was talking about them behind their back. We going to show them the email, the text, whatever the fuck. We going to tell them that you were a part of stealing from them. We going to tell them, whoop-de-whoop, that you were doing, whatever it was. Free yourself, collective. Use wisdom and balance, of course, but free yourself. Okay? If you are sincerely trying to become a decent human being, if you are sincerely, and I really mean this, if you're sincerely trying to embrace some type of a mental health upgrade, healing, awakening, some type of an inner transformation, external transformation, if that is you, even if you are at the very beginning, if that's you, free yourself. You deserve to not be haunted or taunted by things you did with motherfuckers that you're trying to get away from. And I don't care who they are. But let this be a confirmation to you that your intuition or those inner feelings was right all along. Because people that truly loved, honored, and respected you will not be reducing themselves because they're not happy with your decision and your choice, because you're choosing to end the path and journey with them. If they were healthy, legit motherfuckers that truly loved, honored, and respected you, they would not be reducing themselves to that type of conduct towards you. Let this be a confirmation to you that this shit was off to begin with. Because healthy, loving, relatively balanced individuals, even if they're disappointed, upset, and do not approve of your decision to disconnect from them, even if they feel hurt and brokenhearted by that, they do not commence to use that pain in a negative way to try to stop you from moving forward. Let that be a confirmation to you that these individuals aren't well. They never really had your best interest at heart. Because healthy people won't reduce themselves to that. They'll cry, they'll have their words like any other person, but they don't commence to sabotage and hurt and threaten. If you leave, I'm gonna this. If you this, I'm gonna that. Like all of that type of energy. If you break up with me, this. If you tell them the truth about this, I'm gonna do that. That's not an energy coming from a healthy soul. And I don't care if they've managed to have the whole public community fooled. If that's how they're talking to you behind closed doors. I'm stripping off all this illusionary shit. Because this is what happens at the end of the road. You'll start to see all the ugly that people were working very hard to camouflage through their communal narcissism and their fake love and their spiritual narcissism and all of the love bombings and all of the shits that they've done. When the rubber meets the road, you're going to see that face, the real one. Because if all of their manipulative tactics that once upon a time worked for you is no longer working, the highs and lows of fighting and fucking and fighting and fucking and fighting, if it's a romantic situation. And whatever the trauma bonding addictions and attachments that these individuals are used to keeping you in. When this is no longer working, they are going to show you their ugly side. And let that be validation, vindication, confirmation to you that it's time for you to go. Codependency is not love. Some individuals aren't well enough for a healthy connection because they commence to behavior like this. We're not here to stall out our lives, wait, try to be the healer, the savior, the redeemer, the this and that. We are all here on a chosen path, and it's up to journey. And we're responsible for the decisions we make. And we have a right to shift and change and expand our journey at will whenever we want, as long as we are trying to be decent humans and as balanced as we can be without violating people. I didn't say not without making people upset. I said without violating. People are going to be upset when they can't control you anymore. People are going to be upset when they can't get what they want out of you anymore. And they're going to use terms like they feel like something's not fair or they feel like they're violated. You have to know for yourself. You choosing to cut people off and move on with your life is not a violation to them. That's a form of manipulation and guilt tripping and other things. Okay, you're not here to be enslaved to a past decision. You are here to take authority and control over your life, heal and ascend, learn your lessons, learn your soul's journey, and keep moving forward. But a part of that means getting okay with your life and your past. You made mistakes, you have a torrid past. Well, who don't? If you're old enough. Who don't have some type of a torrid past? I'm not saying everybody's got the same kind of torrid past, but most of us got some kind of torrid past. In our unhealed asleep state, in our trauma, most of us have made decisions and choices and done some things that when you heal and awaken, you look and you shake your head like that is ridiculous. But the operative word is, as where these people don't, you change. And you don't just change for the next Instagram post or Facebook post and some social media platform trying to mimic pure energy without becoming pure. Or trying to mimic or reform without reforming. This is the line. This is where that line is drawn between the fakers and the real. The fakers have a torrid past. They're still in that energy. They're fighting tooth and nail to hide it and cover it up. They have no real intention on being any different, but they want to be seen as somebody reformed. Those that are truly in love and light and embracing their ascension may have a torrid past. They're not afraid to admit it. They're not trying to cover it up, and they're no longer in that energy. That's the difference. They're no longer sitting, plotting and planning. They're no longer sitting, whoring around. They're no longer sitting, doing dark magic. They're no longer sitting, whatever your bent and issue was. They're no longer, you know what I'm saying, in that anymore. It's legit. Behind the scene, not just when people are watching or to convince somebody so they can continue to do fuck shit. You have to know the difference for yourself. You have to know that you deserve to not entertain fakers and pretenders. And when you sniff the energy out, you have a right to cut it out. And just because you may have had a similar past, it don't mean that you ought to be tied to the motherfuckers who are still in that energy. Okay? Ask your guidance team or whatever you resonate with to help you to get okay with your past or being transparent so that people won't be able to blackmail you or use that against you or calling themselves spreading it around. This is why it serves us to not care. I keep saying this. This is why, I'm telling y'all, this is why it helps us to get in a place to not care about what people are gossiping about. Because people that are usually gossiping are low lives and they have no other lives and nothing else to do with themselves but to sit back on a duffs and watch other people's lives and talk about other people's lives instead of being somewhere living their own fucking life. These be discontented motherfuckers that stuck in ruts, and so they have nothing else to do but to sit back and gossip about other people's life while their own lives is full of shit. This is why set an intention, ask your guidance team to help you to be okay with naysayers, haters, persecution, gossip, people trying to spread your business, whatever. Okay, because these are people who've been doing this shit anyway, and chances are they started to receive a dose of their own medicine and they don't like it. That's my point. Usually gossips are the ones that have the biggest issue with their shit being put out on display. But that's a contradiction. It's a double standard. And many of them don't learn that. Okay. All right, guys. I sent you all love and light. If you are love and light, I wish you well. I'm rooting for you. Take back your power. Take back your freedom. Liberate yourself by embracing your journey and embracing transparency. I'm not saying you got to tell every single tour detail if you're not guided to, but be okay with what you've gone through. Be okay with that. Be okay with it being something known. Chances are you're going to be able to help somebody someday, not be stuck and not be afraid or not be ashamed. Okay? If everybody were to sit back and keep their lips zipped out of fear, a whole lot of us wouldn't have the freedoms, the liberations, the epiphanies, all the things that we have benefited from because some other people had the balls and the gumption to go on their journey, to stand up, to speak some truths, to expose things, to be willing to be transparent in the name of justice and healing. So know that your story is going to matter just the same. All right? Keep moving forward. Love and light. Namaste.